heard it really pronounced Romare. So
Yes,
that's the
Romare.
way I was taught to pronounce it. So I will continue to pronounce it in that way. We are going to start with a slide presentation of his work. We have spoken about him in the past in this space, in this class. We have focused primarily on his collage work because that is what he is most famous for. I'm going to talk about his collage work, but we're really going to look mainly at his watercolors today because those are the paintings that he did out of doors, and that fits with our theme today. So the slideshow is mainly about his watercolor work. Give me a moment to share the screen, and then we're going to begin our discussion. Here we go. I don't know why the chat box opened up. Let's get rid of that. And play. Everyone at home able to see the slideshow? 2 thumbs up from Lily. And welcome home, Lily. I should have mentioned that first. We're glad to have you back. All right. Romare Bearden was born March 12, 1988. He's an American artist, author, songwriter. He was a jazz composer. He was also a baseball player. He could have had a great career as a professional ball player, but lucky us, he chose art instead. He worked in many types of media, including cartoons, oils, and collage. He was born in Charlotte, North Dakota, and grew up in New York City and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He graduated from NYU in 1935. He started his career painting scenes of the American South, and later he worked to express the humanity he felt was lacking in the world. And he had this feeling after his experience in the US Army during World War II. And he was in the Army in the European front. He returned to Paris in 1950 and studied art history and philosophy at the Sorbonne. Okay, let's start looking at his work. And again, we're going to look at his watercolors, which he did in the Caribbean. He and his wife purchased a home on the island of St. Martin's. So most of the paintings are about tropical rainforest. And we're going to talk a little bit about the types of things that you can see in the tropical rainforest after we look at the slideshow. Bearden's early work, however, focused on unity and cooperation within the African American community. And after a period during the 1950s, he painted more abstractly. The New York Times described Bearden as the nation's foremost collagist in his 1988 obituary. He was largely known as an African American artist of the civil rights movement. He formed a group in Harlem known as Spiral, which was a discussion group for artists about civil rights. What do you think of this painting, though? Like, dislike? I need you to be louder. Lush. Okay, very lush. Color-wise, gorgeous lush color. Abstract or realistic? It's moving towards realism, but it's also very abstract, right? The imagery is not very distinct. He's allowing the paint to blur and run and do the things that watercolor paints do. So he has control, and yet he's allowing the paint to take over and do what watercolor paints do on their own. So he's experimenting with the paint. He is letting abstraction rule here. Beautiful composition. He's filled the entire space. There's barely an inch of white paper showing through. And this is very much what being in the rainforest is like. You don't even see the sky when you're on the ground in the rainforest. If you look up, everything is green, green, green. As a child, in his early years, Bearden's household was a meeting place for famous people in the Harlem Renaissance. His father was a pianist, and his mother, Bessie Bearden, played an active role in the New York City Board of Education and also served as the founder and president of the Colored Women's Democratic League. She was also the New York correspondent for the Chicago Defender, an African-American newspaper. This is interesting. Bearden was very fair-skinned, and this allowed him to cross boundaries that many other Black people were restricted from. So he had a little bit more freedom than his friends did in his early years. He went to high school in Pittsburgh. He enrolled in Lincoln University, the nation's second oldest historically Black college, founded in 1854, and later transferred to Boston University, where he served as art director for Beanpot, Boston University's student humor magazine. He continued his studies at NYU, where he started to focus more on his art and less on athletics, and he became a lead cartoonist and art editor for the Medley, the monthly journal of the secretive Euclidean Society at NYU. Bearden studied art, education, science, and mathematics, graduating with a degree in science and education in 1935. And look at this glorious watercolor. This again was done in St. Martin in the later years of his life. They bought the house in St. Martin in the 1960s. You can see a bit of mountain top in the background. Can you see the edge of the mountain top? Folks at home, you can't see me pointing to this, I'm sorry. Oh, Laura, you taught me how to get the thingy back and I already forget. Yeah, I can't get to more. Laura's coming to help me get the mouse back.
Oh, mouse. I think we had this conversation last week. We can't mouse. Hold on.
Okay, we're working on that so that I can point to things for you folks at home in the slideshow. But you can see there's a kind of purple colored line that runs through the background in this picture. That's the edge of a mountaintop in the background up at the sky level. But most of the rest of this composition is just splashes of color representing the plants in the rainforest. Really fabulous color in this image. Oh, she's giving me a mouse. Temporarily. Laura is sharing her mouse. Thank goodness it's not.
Does it work? Hide. Floating control. Hallelujah.
Okay, so we got rid of the floating control board. That's great for the people here. Can I point to things? No, that's not what I want. All right, well, so we moved on to the next slide, which is fine. This one is more recognizable as a landscape. You can see in the foreground, there's something that suggests buildings even. There's water, and there is mountaintop and a very red sun in the sky, right? Am I right about that? Everybody can see. Throughout his life, Bearden supported himself by doing work, not just painting. And he continued his arts artistic study in the 30s at the Art Students League, and he studied under the German artist George Grosz, who was an abstract artist, abstract expressionist, in fact. And there in the 30s, he also was influenced by the Mexican muralists like Diego Rivera and Jose Orozco. He also worked in the Harlem office of the New York City Department of Social Services. And then during World War II, from 1942 until 1945, he served in the US military in Europe. After serving in the Army, he came back to New York and joined the Samuel Coutts Gallery, where he became more prominent in the art world, and his work became more and more expressionistic and abstract. Then he returned to Europe in the 1950s and started studying at the Sorbonne. He visited people like Picasso, and the famous French surrealists and abstract expressionists of the day became a major influence on him. His work was exhibited at the Samuel M. Coutts Gallery in New York until they decided it wasn't abstract enough for them. Interesting, right? What's your response to the colors in his watercolor paintings? I think they're just fantastic.
All of his colors, Liz, are amazing.
Anybody not responding to Bearden's work? I'd love to hear people who don't like the artists that we're looking at. That's very cool to me.
Childish.
Daniel, do you have a comment you want to make?
He seems childish.
You feel the work is childish in what way?
Doesn't look exactly.
Because why? Can you put it into words?
Because how can I say? Everything looks kind of like disorganized, loaded, and
Okay.
it doesn't have kind of like a structure. A structure, I'll say, like I've seen most professional watercolor painters that I've seen. This is mostly looks like how someone. Okay, maybe a little bit at a hungry as a child, but I don't know if this is intentional or not, or because of his lack of skill.
Okay, so you like things more organized and perhaps neater?
Not exactly. Not exactly of my preference, but I will say that it kind of doesn't look. It kind of doesn't look like someone who has kind of like watercolor skills, but he just made whatever he wanted.
Does it help to know that he made these watercolors late in life and he was highly skilled and decided to reject the skills that he learned as a young man?
Probably.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion. I love that comment. Yes. Yes. The artist is what, hun? Please say a little louder. Pretty artistic. Yes. Okay, and you have some people agreeing with you.
I don't know. She didn't elaborate. What does he mean by being artistic?
Can you explain what that means, pretty artistic?
It means like
So you think the artist used his imagination to create this image, and that makes it pretty artistic.
Anyone can,
Okay.
anyone can do imagination. Anyone can do imagination. Any artist can use imagination.
Okay, so two differing opinions, and that's good. This is the beauty of art, is that it it can have two different sides, right? We can have differing opinions, and that's a beautiful thing. Wonderful. Thank you both. Anybody at home have something they want to share? Looks like Lily might want to share something. Go ahead. Were you unmuting, Lily?
I love his edges.
You're still muted.
Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you, Lily. I'm gonna move on, Lily, okay?
I can hear her.
Maybe you can share something in the chat box.
Liz, I can hear her. Can you hear me?
Okay, let's move on.
It's not.
So Bearden was focusing on the spiritual intent. He wanted to show ideas of humanism that cannot be seen by the eye, but must be digested by the mind. I think that's an interesting concept. So this is another watercolor by Bearden of a tropical landscape. You can see too, there's a small figure in the foreground next to the tree. So sometimes he even introduced figures into his watercolors. So because why? Because he's got these shapes, right? It does almost appear as if he's created the paper and then cut it to fit the composition. But I think this is pure watercolor. All of his watercolors are technically difficult to achieve. Even the ones that look like he did them rushed and in a hurried way, and that bleed, where the colors bleed together, it requires a level of technical skill that takes years to really master. You're right, both Alice and Heather, you're right. And these kind of heavy textured effects, he must have experimented with different tools and different types of paper to get those very rough textures. I'm guessing that this is on a very rough kind of textured paper in order for him to get, and he probably used something to sop up the paint to get that kind of rough texture. This is a watercolor. It is difficult, yep.
Maybe it's not watercolor, but mixed media.
No, this is a watercolor. There are ways to get those dark, dark, darks. If you let the paper dry, you can create layers. You can keep adding more and more layers to get that darkness and depth of field. It requires patience and skill. It does. All right. In the 50s, Bearden's work became more abstract. He used layers of paint to produce muted hidden effects. In 1956, Bearden began studying with a Chinese calligrapher, whom he credits with introducing him to new ideas about space and composition. He also spent much time studying famous European paintings he admired, particularly the work of the Dutch artists Vermeer, Hooch, and Rembrandt. And it was this time in 1960 that he and his wife established a second home on the Caribbean island of St. Martin. In 61, he joined the Cordier and Ekstrom Gallery in New York, which would represent him for the rest of his career. And this is when he founded the group Spiral for the purpose of discussing the group, for the purpose of discussing the commitment of the Negro artists in the present struggle for civil liberties and as a discussion group to consider common aesthetic problems. And this is when his collage work only really started in the 1960s. But we're not going to talk too much about it. In 1971, the Museum of Modern Art held a retrospective exhibition of his work, and that's when he really started gaining in prominence and fame. So this is a mixed media work. This is not a watercolor from later in life. This is collage and paint mixed together. I wanted you to get a sense of the other kind of work that he did. In 1954, at age 42, he married Nanette Rohan, a 27-year-old dancer from Staten Island, New York. She later became an artist and critic, and the couple eventually created the Bearden Foundation to assist young artists. Bearden died in New York City on March 12, 1988, due to complications from bone cancer. The New York Times described Bearden in its obituary as one of America's preeminent artists and the nation's foremost collagists. So this is a watercolor from the Caribbean series.
Yeah, I like that.
You like this one better, Daniel? Why? Can you?
Because this time you can see what it is.
Okay. So you like work that's more representational. That's cool.
Probably, yeah.
That's cool. That's your aesthetic, your opinion, and that's wonderful.
It's not exactly my opinion. It is that people are more attracted to things that looks more representative.
Some people.
But yeah, but sometimes when you see something that is so abstract or so, how can I say, or so that doesn't look exactly like art, that people think kind of accept it like art, that is technically that is probably kind of pretentious type of thinking.
Sometimes some people love abstraction because it enables them again to use their imagination to create something new and different in their mind. But you and I can have this discussion while we're doing our art today, okay? Because I want to keep moving along so we can create. Yes, and sometimes it's visceral and emotional. It's not about what we see and think about. Sometimes it's about what we feel in our heart that helps us to react in. And Laura, yes.
See, especially St. Martin, isn't that you?
This is St. Martin in the Caribbean. Lucky you.
By the sea, and they would have fish fries in the sand. They were fishing and they would bake in the sand and the festivities. Everybody lived around there. So I love the place, these people at the edge of the sea. And St. Martin was the French quarter where the Dutch was over, the people of that country, of that island. So it brings back memories, certainly, but I just love it. There's so many at the edge of the sea, and even though they're sort of the way you made it real small in the image, it doesn't matter. This seems like it's such a big community. Does it make sense? There's so much community in that tiny people. I don't know what this way would make me happy. Whatever. That's what I think.
And we love it. Thank you. Thank you. So Daniel, love your commentary. Heather, love your commentary. We love your commentary. And another comment. Okay, yes. Let's hear what you have to say, please. Go ahead, hon. Because This thing? This thing. I think that's a boat. Oh, maybe it's a pirate ship. I don't know. Yeah, such a small. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely a Caribbean island, definitely. And the colors are a dead giveaway that it's the Caribbean. All right, well, to me, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous painting. It is an abstraction. It's definitely not completely realistic, but we know what it's about. There are people on the shoreline doing things. They could be having a fish fry, like Laura said. Lucky Laura grew up on St. Martin. Who knew? Fabulous. We want to hear more about that while we're working today. All right, isn't this great? One of the best things about art is how much conversation it creates. It makes me really happy. Let's keep going. All right. This, to me, just love this painting. It is a watercolor. I have no idea. Is it the bottom of the sea? Is it the waves splashing against the rocks? Could be a cloud meeting the ocean. But I think the colors, the textures, the shapes, to me, are so very, very beautiful. And the techniques that he used to achieve this are many. And it looks like he dashed it off really quickly, but I think it probably took him days to create this. He worked in layers. He probably kept going back. He would let each layer dry and he would come back and add a little bit more. Then he would come back and add some fine line detail. I love this painting.
It's got a lot of movement.
A lot of movement. It's got to be water, don't you think? It's got to be the ocean.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start pushing through these really fast because we are running out of time. This one to me is the classic seashore watercolor. You know, it's Bearden, but it could be anybody could have painted this. You know immediately that you're looking beachside. The blue outline is just fabulous. Could be a painting by the French watercolorist Raoul Dufy. Could be a Van Gogh painting. It's just beautiful.
A little childlike.
Nice, right? Definitely a tropical
Childlike.
flower.
Yeah.
Keep thinking about this one because I want you to think tropical plants, tropical flowers. That's going to be our focus in our own work today. Look at that glorious red amongst the green. Red and green work so well together. So this is a mixed media. This is oil, collage. It's everything thrown together in this piece. It's what Bearden was famous for. I don't know. Good question from Janice. I don't know what it's mounted on. Sorry, I don't know. This is a collage. It's like a Gauguin or a Matisse. Yeah. Very much so. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful composition. Those white clouds, the white clothing, the little bit of white in the foreground. I'm not sure what this little piece of white in the bottom is. Very limited color choices. Yes, you're right, Heather. Limited palette. The blacks, very dramatic composition because of the color choices. No, this is a collage, I believe. It may be mixed. It might be mixed media. The gray cloud in the background looks like it's painted, doesn't it?
Hmm.
It does look painted. You can see the brush strokes, but I think some of it is cut out. Bearden was such a master with the knife. When you looked at his collage, you never knew where one piece ended and the next one started. He was amazing in his ability to cut things. All right, so that's the end of our slideshow. I really invite you to look further into the work of Romare Bearden and his life. Now I want to talk about what we're going to make today. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to do a quick share of some images that I collected of tropical plants to prime your creative pump about what I'm hoping you can make today. These are some images of tropical plants that I find interesting. Hopefully you will too. And if you don't like the pictures I'm choosing, you can Google on your smartphones tropical plants because the variety is incredibly endless. Oh, wait, I did this wrong as usual. Yeah. So this is the hibiscus flower. One of my favorite tropical plants. I want you to think about the shapes that you see in tropical plants and flowers, the absolutely gorgeous saturated color that you can see. And we are going to explore and work with color and shape today in your own work. Let's look at another. Doesn't necessarily have to be flowers. The tropical rainforest has all kinds of gorgeous visual miracles to look at and share. Look at this one. This plant is called the croton. It's one of my favorite tropical plants. Everybody at home able to see these images? I love this plant because not only does it have color and shape, but it has incredible texture that you can play with when you look at it and play around with. So I could go on forever showing you pictures. I just want you to look at some orchids though first, and then I'm gonna talk about what you're gonna do today. Because orchids are just an endless source of fascination. And orchids are a tropical flower. If you are feeling uninspired, I invite you to just Google the word orchid, type it in, and you will find some of the most incredible images ever. And the shapes are varied, the colors are endless, and you will find many things to copy and paint. Want to look at one more? Look at the color of this one.
Wow. That's gorgeous.
All right. So today I'm going to put a picture up on the large screen. For those of you who want to copy my choice of picture, you may. You can copy a Romare Bearden painting, or you could copy the photograph that I put up. I'm also going to do a demonstration. First, you won't be able to see my picture. So those of you who are here, you can start with an image on your phone, if you have a phone that you have available to you to use, or you can watch my demonstration. Those of you who've seen me do the watercolor demonstration before, you don't have to watch. You can go ahead and start looking on your phone for imagery. The demonstration will be short, and then I'll be able to put a picture up on the screen for you all to use quickly. So we are going to create a watercolor painting of a tropical flower or plant. We're not going to do, you could do a landscape today if you would like, or a plant or a flower. Laura has a question. Oh, yes, please. Absolutely, yes. I'm going to repeat that in case you didn't hear. Please, when you're taking pictures around the room today, that you ask permission first. Yes. Ask permission first. Yes, yes, it makes good sense. Some people may not want to be photographed or even have their artwork photographed. So please ask permission first.
Copyright passes.
Daniel, what?
Copyright passes.
Yeah, and beyond copyright, I mean, some people just don't want to be photographed or have their work photographed. We have to be conscious of that and sensitive to that. All right, folks, here you can start gathering up your materials while I set up the demonstration area. Those of you at home, I'm not crazy about this picture. I'm going to choose another picture to put up if you don't mind until we start the demo.
You have any birds of paradise?
Maybe I'll put up this hibiscus. This is a hibiscus. Let's put this one up. I don't really like that one either. Give me a minute. Try this one.
Ooh.
Here's an orchid that almost looks like an animal. I'm going to put that up on the share screen. It will go away when I'm doing the demonstration though, so forgive me for that. Those of you at home, you can use your own landscape or plant pictures. Oh, what have I done? I've done something very weird. No, this is okay. So again, this image will disappear when we do the demonstration, but you can at least get started. I recommend that you do a pencil sketch first, as always, and then
And so kind of smears the water with the water.
do it very lightly. Do it very pale. And if you don't want to do the pencil sketch first, Daniel, don't do it. Bumpy. There's no such thing as white water, but there is. Not you. Because I don't. It's better to let the white paper show through, and if you want lighter colors, use more water. Okay. And more of the damn paper. If you do that. Thank you. That it's so stiff, it's unusable. You have my permission to just throw it away. Sure, thank you. Because I don't want to have to keep carrying it back and forth. Like this. If this is useless, you can throw it away. You have to share. I'll share one bottle. There are no watercolors left. People sitting next to each other can share. Because Alice and Eileen have no paint. Not good. Never happened. You've run out of paint. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, well then, if you, I can share with you from trying to get. Yeah. Where are you? I'm gonna come around to the front, but I just forgot to pour water. I'm so upset that there's not enough paint to go over. That's never happened. They dropped in so many places. I'll fix it, guys, don't worry. Trying to see what too, I think. Yeah. All right, well, we got this. You're gonna use this paint now. Okay, sure, no problem. I'm gonna use this one and then I'll give this to Al. I'm gonna get one.
School today? Give me a call. I'm in class.
Some. We're gonna have to get rid of that image. Everybody here has seen what I'm gonna do. People here want to see me do the demonstration. Most of you here have seen this already, but I'm happy to do it again. That's what I'm doing. Oh. So we'll lose the image on the screen just momentarily. I told you that they're gonna lose the image for a few minutes. So hopefully they're okay with it. Yeah. There are some folks here who are brand new. Let me remind them. So folks at home, we're about to start the demonstration. You're going to lose the image of this orchid on the screen for a couple of minutes, but we will put it back up for you. All right. Folks who are here. I'm gonna start the demonstration. Guys, look in. Let Laura in, please. Thank you. So those of you here can either come by the camp or you can watch on the screen. That's a photograph. That's a photograph.
So I think you have to take that off.
Yeah,
No, that's-
that's a photograph. Daniel, you can just work. You don't have to watch me unless you want.
Don't worry about it. Maybe I'll get some inspiration.
Second.
Thank you.
I didn't realize I had to do that, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
So we're taking this image away. So the demonstration can be seen by everyone.
Baby, are you taking a break? Okay.
I think I've got this,
Well, I think.
this delivery under control.
Tropical plants. Flowers for both. Yeah, I'm going to start for the people who are here from Breda. I think everybody at home are veteran students, so ready. Yes. So folks at home, we're going to get started with the demonstration. Folks here, I like to start with a very light pencil outline first. I'm working from my imagination. Love the shape.
What's it doing?
We need some tropical plants. So I'm gonna get that down lightly first.
Received in the last 5
Yeah, so flowers, well. And one for you. If you want the colors to be loose and runny, use lots of water. We call this a wash. Washes are best for your larger, bigger shapes. So for things like the background, if you're doing landscape, the sky, the sea, large grassy areas, washes are really good. you're doing these close-up images of plants, things like the larger leaf shapes are good to do for wash or your background shapes. So when I create a wash, I put lots of water. And I put just a little bit of color. And I do what's called drop color into the water. And I allow it to float in the water. And just let it run where it will go. Watercolor artists learn with this technique. One of the nice things about watercolor paper is that texture absorbs a lot of that water and helps you to control where the paint flows. If you want darker, more or opaque color and shape, you use less water. You wipe your brush, make it drier, and more paint. And you can do what we call dry brush. See how different it is? That. I did not wet the paper first. Just put a little bit of water on my brush. Took more paint from the bottom. Have more control that way. Another way to gain greater control, look at where I'm holding the brush. You have less control when you hold the brush in the wooden handle. You have more control when you hold the brush down here. Because then you can actually rest your hand on the paper and get even very fine edges. See? Resting my hand on the paper, and it enables me to control where the paint goes. So other techniques can be used not with a brush, but with other tools. Paper towel. Okay, really interesting effects, textural effects. Just crumpled up paper towel. And I want to encourage you also to mix color. It's a good idea. See how Esty has paper towel next to her? Either paper towel or an extra piece of paper to use to mix color on. You never want to mix your color on your picture. Always need an extra piece of paper next to your painting to enable you to experiment with color mixing. Make sure you have the color correct on your test paper before you actually use it in your paper dries. It's much easier to apply the paint than it is when the paper is wet. So remember with those washes, you want that runnier abstract effect. Wet the paper first, and you drop the color in. You see how it spreads? Bearden was a master of this technique. There are different degrees of wetness. You have to experiment. There's enough paper today that you should be able to take 2 pieces of paper, play around and experiment with 1 piece of paper, And then do your finished work on the second piece of paper. And, or use a piece of paper that's not watercolor paper. Play an experiment on that, and then do your finished work on the watercolor picture. If you're worried about making mistakes.
May I ask you for a technique, I think, in the center of the flower, you want to put the yellow color on red, you would wait for the background petals to dry.
This is a personal choice. It depends how defined you want to make the shape. If you want the shape to have a very exact edge, then you must let the color dry before you move to the new color. If you want the edges to blend together or mix, then you don't have to wait.
In fact, like yellow over dark colors.
I would never do that. I would always start with light colors first, and then gradually add your darks. Okay? And that's true with any kind of paint. Go light first, gradually add dark. Unless you want it very dark colors, and you start with dark and gradually add dark. But if you're aiming for pastels or light colors, you always start with light, gradually add dark. That makes sense. I think you're good to go. Yeah, I think we're ready to, so there's not much yellow. Next week, I think I have some more watercolor paints in another location. I'm gonna have to bring. Or maybe it's time for me to try some more paint. Let's, I think it's growing. Yeah, you guys can use this water and these brushes too. Eileen, I got you water. Yeah. We need paper towel. I'm gonna put that orchid image back up. Nice beginning. It's also a lot of fun to try not to worry about the actual object that you're creating in the beginning. You can start with just a lot of runny colors and then go back in to create the image. Kind of like a Rorschach test approach to the painting. So I believe it was it this picture? Yes. Whoops. How did that happen? That works for us here, but not for the folks at home. So we got it. Thank you, Laura, for your help. Folks at home, can you see that the orchid is back up? Those of you who might have been using it? Yes? Okay, good. Thank you, Lily, for letting me know. Everybody at home doing well? Yay. Okay. I'm going to start walking around here. If anybody needs me, you can call out. Those of you at home, just yell, call out my name, and I'll come running to you. Donna, you found space?
Yeah.
You got set up? Beginning. Just too much about the drawing on this one. Have more fun with the paint today. Well done. Keep going.
That's too much of that.
I know, I haven't started yet. I won't.
You know, it's any bigger.
Oh, that's one thing. You have more power. You stand in the door, you have more power and controls. I have no problem with that. Doesn't bother me that. Okay.
Romare, Romare.
I want.
Then do it. What's you?
Oh, yeah, I like the protein.
Yeah.
You can have it in emails, that's just fine.
Yeah.
be used. Lot of work. In Google, you might need to spell it. I'm not showing. On my laptop. Can I show her the slideshow while this picture is on the screen?
No, I would have to, I can't do it. Here. Here.
What the new title?
Might as well, right? AI comment.
Because his images are not flowers. We're gonna do this blue flower. I know he's doing blue flower. Orchids? Let me see. Here we go.
So he did a lot of Caribbean landscapes.
Yes, that's
He
what I
owned a
said.
house in St. Martin. And rather than doing landscapes today, we've been doing a lot of landscapes. I showed pictures of tropical flowers because
Mhm.
St. Martin is a Caribbean island. It's a tropical island.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked at pictures of tropical flowers, including orchids. And people are doing flowers and plants, tropical flowers and plants, rather than doing full landscapes. So if you go to orchids, for example, on your phone,
Orchids?
orchids are tropical flowers.
Just instead of Romare Bearden, just put in orchids?
Well, we looked at a slideshow of Bearden's Caribbean watercolor paintings.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing a lot of landscapes. Instead of doing landscapes today, I suggested they do tropical plants and flowers
Because he comes from the tropics.
because he owned a house
Anybody else need
in the tropics. Orchids are tropical flowers. So we're doing flowers instead of full landscapes, and orchids are tropical flowers. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so you can, if you want, or you could do a landscape. There are some people doing full landscape. Heather is doing a landscape in the style of,
Tropical flowers.
you
What-
can,
What was the name of the island?
Saint Martin, Marten, apostrophe S. You could also just Google Romare Bearden.
Did you find them, Liz?
Yeah,
You done here?
There is something. Saint
yeah,
Martin.
you can find all kinds of incredible plants and flowers. It's amazing.
Saint Martin has two eggs. It's got two eggs.
Oh, it must be spelled two different ways because in the biography of Bearden, it's spelled with one A. So Laura spent her childhood on St. Martin. Do you spell,
5 years. 1 year.
oh, one, did you spell it with 2 A's or 1 A when you lived there? No, St. Martin.
I remember this too.
Okay, you spelled it with 2. In this biography of Bearden, it's spelled with 1 A.
But it was a typographical error. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy your painting. So I like being schooled about things.
It's
I
the-
will from now on spell it with 2 A's.
Oh, really? So maybe a little bit, the dual identity of an island causes confusion about the correct spelling of the name. The Dutch side, as part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, is correctly called Sint, S-I-N-T, Marten, M-A-A, 2 A's, R-T-N. The French side is Saint, S-A-I-N-T, Martin, S-A-R-T-I-N. Saint, well, Saint Martin.
Saint Martin. Saint Martin. Okay, got it. The Caribbean is has such a rich history. There's so many colonial empires that took over the islands. Look at Haiti, for example. It's both Spanish and French. Horrible history, horrible bloody history, in fact. And Haiti now, yes. Horrible article in a recent New Yorker about Haiti. But we won't talk about that today. We're making beautiful art. Everyone at home doing okay? You look very focused. Good.
Yes.
Watercolor artists work hard to achieve that. It is not a mistake when the watercolor paint runs. That's what you want it to do. Don't be upset if the paint goes out of the edge. That's good. It's beautiful. Beautiful. When it spreads. What? Unhinged. Unhinged. No, unhinged.
What are you talking about?
She said when she comes here, she has to become unhinged. I said, no, not unhinged. Maybe a little unhinged, but not unhinged. Did I recommend, I don't get right up to the edge. Or orange and blue. She's not kidding. Look at the deep blue green. To the edge. Yeah. You don't like the colors, you don't like the shape. Take a paper. That's a big guy. More big. Soak it up. Look at that. Look at that cool shape. Flat more. So this is done.
So what do we got here? 1.5.
You need some darker areas. You need some darkness. Spike dark, you want to emphasize the up rest. Starting out, I have no idea what time. 11:27. Yeah, start another one. Asking, listen to me, you need to use watercolor. That kind of paper is not good for people. Use the watercolor. Wonderful. I'm excited to see what you're going to do behind.
Yeah, either a circle or a circle.
Flats. Straight black. Kill the other colors in the picture. They're actually these. I like that. Gorgeous. Keep going. Always your color sense. Magical. Wonderful. That would be it. When did you work out?
It's in there.
I know it's a flower, but I'm trying to figure out if it's a painting of the flower or a poem. It must be a photo. You're doing well. Capturing the shape, that's tough shape to recreate. What? Red and blue. I do have lilac, but it's kind of dirt. You may need to get some paper towel and wash it off, sure. Oh, okay. Very nice salad. It is, keep going. This picture is hard to look at. I wonder if we could Google from you, Lisa.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good.
Sure, better for you to look at.
Okay.
Easier for you to see what you're trying to paint. They are called croquins.
Okay, so,
If you Google this word, look,
so
this picture is almost impossible.
all right.
Yes. It's the name of the plant. All the quotes and. But I'm concerned that the picture you're looking at is hard to copy. So I'm trying to help you find a better picture. Yeah, I think you should look for another picture. You have, you turn that on your phone? No. Show. Always leaning on your screen. I wanted you to help Lisa understand that she can find a better picture. She's trying to copy from a photograph. She took a picture on the screen. If she types in the word protein, the name of the plant, into the internet, she can get a good picture of what she's trying to paint. Because her painting is beautiful. I don't want you to start again. I want you to find a better picture to copy of this plant. The plant is called protein.
That's the,
So she goes, it's right, CROTO, and she goes to the internet. She goes to the internet, types in crowd.
but I be. There you go.
Oh, it's misspelled. You want to go to image.
that didn't mean that is so.
Yeah, that's the name of the plant.
Oh, I thought,
Proteins. Oh, so here's a much better picture. I can't make it open up. Fingers are so cold. You see, isn't that easier for you to look at? Keep painting, this is beautiful. But now you have a better picture to look at. You understand?
this one is more.
Try opening that. You're welcome. Okay, so we still have 10-15 minutes to go. Recommends. Marker and backgrounds are stems. Oh, red start and stem to the back. Two, that you can work more on these at home. If you like to have precise outlining, bring this home, let it dry, and you can work with the dry brush. Work with colored pencils to add outlining and detail. Colored pencils are a wonderful medium to use on top of dry watercolor because colored pencils are the closest to natural, true color of all the media we have available to us. Of all the art media out there, colored pencils are the closest to natural color that you can buy. Yes. Except don't use the fluorescent ones. They're not close to nature at all. So, mix the black with another color, maybe dark blue. Make it solid black. Then you eat up your whole picture. Alice, what you got with the dark green, it really makes the flowers come alive. Yeah. So that was inspired. Thank you. I would even add some dark green, like the upper left-hand corner, coming down towards the flower. Yeah. Red dots. Maybe some dark green dots. This is a straight blue. This is a purple. Dark green, just in dots or texture. Oh, yes, yeah. I don't know you. Yes. They're learning. You're learning. For the background, you want bigger brush. For your larger shapes, you need bigger brush. Even this stuff. Yes, perfect. Try and blend it in with the other color. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
That's interesting.
So it's almost time when we would be sharing. Oh. Oh, I don't want to share. Great, so. The dark. The corners too dim to blow the composition. It will force the viewer to look inwards towards the flowers. If you maybe not all four corners, but. So we'd rather keep working. I got that impression in this group. Yes, no one. It was like it was gonna be a revolution. I'm gonna ask folks at home. It's gonna be a full military coup here if I said we're gonna stop to share.
Go for Stu.
There was a riot in where?
There was a riot in Union Square. I know the country of Niger, there was a military coup.
Yeah, because the YouTuber made it.
Folks at home, people here are not happy about the idea of sharing. How are we feeling at home? Would you rather keep working? I got
Keep
a thumbs
working.
up from Lily. She'd rather keep
Keep
working.
working, keep working.
Susan, you'd rather keep working?
Yep.
As always, folks, if you are running into difficulties or you're excited about what you're doing, you can always send me JPEGs. I love offering advice, or I'm happy to share ideas and suggestions via email. Oh, we have a customer here for sharing. Come on up. I do have to stop the, I'm going to stop sharing the picture here on the screen. Sorry, folks. I'm going to turn this off. This is, do you have a favorite? Or do you want to show all of them? All right. Come closer. Do you want to be on camera also or no? It's up to you. Say your name for everybody here and at home.
Re-entry.
Nientry is here with her artwork. Wow.
That is beautiful, just beautiful.
Am I holding it the right direction, Nientry?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Beautiful.
I love that Nientry has used complementary colors in this image. The red and the green are very powerful together. This one works beautifully. Great use of wash technique also.
Gorgeous.
Thank you on that one. Oh, and here are our landscapes.
Oh,
Oops,
great.
having trouble getting the whole image in, but this one, let's see.
Oh,
Let me
good.
get rid of this. There we go.
Beautiful.
Really good use of perspective, right? Nientry understands that small shapes go in the foreground I mean, large shapes go in the foreground and smaller shapes go in the background. Great use of color too. Wonderful, hooray. And look at this one, I think is my personal favorite, if you don't mind my saying the entry.
Woo!
Oh,
Beautiful
wonderful.
job.
Love the energy. It's
Glad
so
you came today. You
positive.
had great comments and beautiful artwork. I hope you can come next week too. Did you have fun? What? Awesome. Anybody else? The entry has broken the ice. Come on, guys. Alice, you want to come up? All right. This is Alice too.
This one? Yeah, you like it. Oh, I don't know how you.
Woo!
Wow, gorgeous. How dramatic is the dark background with the deep purple orchids?
Fantastic.
Come show us your work. Very nice composition, Alice. I scared you what? I said mix your black with another color. You're gonna keep working. This is beautiful. May I share this with the audience at home? Look how gorgeous Eileen's watercolor is. And Eileen, you can go darker as the painting dries. This is really a beautiful example of the wash technique and letting the colors run.
Awesome.
Beautiful job.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Bravo, Eileen. Your painting is different from hers.
I know.
And
I
that's
myself.
awesome. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah.
One of the biggest rules of thumb is you should never compare your work to anyone else's. Ever. You have your own particular style. Yeah. Tell me your name. One more. Manju's artwork. Manju, do you want to come up and be on screen? No, that was a definite. So this is Manju's. Am I holding it the right way?
Oh, my God.
This way or this way?
Wow.
This is
Beautiful.
Manju's great painting.
Great
Gorgeous.
composition.
So hard to get it straight. There we go. Spectacular color. And I
Yes.
love the top right-hand corner, how the leaf is running right off the edge in the corner. Really spectacular.
Beautiful.
Well done. I am thrilled with the work you've all created today. More time for sharing. So this is Lindsay. Lindsay's one of our newest students. How pretty is this? Love it.
Awesome.
Shush, everybody look and listen. This is Lindsay's, and she's a beginning artist. She's doing
Beautiful.
spectacularly well.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
There's a lot of motion and movement in this that really appears as if the flowers are moving in the breeze. I like it a lot.
Beautiful.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Eileen said she loves the purple. I love Daniel's, and Daniel's suggestion, when this is dry, yours is a really good candidate for taking colored pencil and doing some detail work, I think. It's really, really gorgeous color. I like the composition of how the flowers are centered. Well done.
Beautiful.
Well done. All right, anyone else? Yay! Sundown. Suman. Another one of our newest students.
Stunning.
Wow.
That is
With
stunning.
her hibiscus.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I love the line detail. The work
Yes.
you've done with lines in this is wonderful.
Beautiful.
I like the way that the flowers surrounded by leaves. Both the flowers and the leaves are well sketched.
I agree, Lindsay. And the dark color of the leaves really makes the flower in the middle your focus, your focal point. It really makes that light, bright color stand out. Sundam, well done. You're welcome. Anyone else? Here comes Judy. Yay.
Yay.
And then I'm going back to folks at home to give you a chance to see if you've changed your mind. Judy's
Awesome.
colors are fantastic, aren't they?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Dancing.
Very pure, yes. Someone said your colors are pure, Judy.
Very nice.
Pure and bright. Very nice. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, folks at home, anybody more in the mood? How do I make this come?
That's a basic class.
Sally. No, it's not basic. Look, these are beautiful. Really well drawn, and the colors are really very pretty. Sally,
Gorgeous.
suggestion, background. What are you going to do with the background? Here's a tip, everyone. When you leave your background white, it swallows up the picture. You really need to do something with the background. Artists rarely leave a white background, particularly when the image you've created is so beautiful. You need to fill in your background.
What would you recommend there?
Dirty water.
I'm not sure.
It's a lily flower.
It is a lily. It's
Lily.
beautiful. You've got to do the background. Anyone at home? Robin? Susan? Oh, Doris is holding hers up. Let me spotlight you, Doris.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Lovely.
Oh, beautiful.
Fabulous, Doris, well rendered. But Doris, you need the background.
I just was gonna
What's
ask
going to
you.
happen in the background? It will really make the parrot and your plants more visible if you do something with your background. And then when this is dry, I recommend you take colored pencil as well to do some definition and outlining and detail.
So for the background,
Very
should I just
nice,
like do a-
beautiful composition too. I like the way the bird dominates this picture.
should I do a water wash
Well
for
done.
the background?
All right, anyone else at home?
I can show you.
Somehow
I
I've
just
lost the gallery view. Oh, thanks so much, Laura. All right, Robin is holding your picture up. Let's
Yes, this is an
spotlight.
island.
Terrific.
Island.
This is a landscape.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I think it
guys here,
needs
we're
more
looking at the
definition.
work at home. Please pay attention to what's on screen. Thank you.
This is the island in the
Gorgeous. I love
Philippines.
the reflection in the water. I love
Beautiful.
the color of the water. Is it a sunset or sunrise, Robin?
I think it's a sunset and it's a photograph someone
Yeah,
took
you're
when they were out in the
muted. Can you
Philippines.
unmute?
It doesn't show me.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It
can you
shows me being
raise your
unmuted. Can you hear
volume
me?
maybe?
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, can you hear me? I guess not. It shows me unmuted.
It's
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can
Hold the painting up again so we
Yeah.
can see it. So beautiful. Wonderful. Send me a JPEG when you're done, please.
Okey doke.
We can have a conversation about it then.
Thanks.
All right, Lily. Want to share? It's your first day back. Is that your piece?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow, Lily, fantastic.
It was nice
Lovely.
I
loosening
love
up.
the crisscrossing trees in the foreground, the dark trees against the colorful background. Really nice.
Thank
What
you.
what did you paint on it? Looks like a piece
Watercolor
of bark or
paper.
something.
It's a
Very
it's a little
cool.
it's a watercolor book. Good to be back, everybody.
Everybody's having a problem with their sound today.
We love to
Laura. I don't
have
know what's
you.
going on.
Yay, bye you
Weird.
guys. Bye,
We
Liz.
love it.
Thanks, Laura.
All right. Susan, hold yours up.
Okay, it's not finished in the background.
Oh, an orchid. I love the shape, love the color. All right,
The
keep
ba-
going. I want to see this one finish.
Yeah, the background will be greens.
Yeah, we
Leaves.
can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, the background will be leaves. Can't hear me? Okay. whatever.
Everyone is impossible to hear today. Sorry, Susan. Anyone else? Susan? Stephanie, are you still with us? No, I'm not seeing Stephanie. She was there a second ago. All right, well, folks here, sorry, we are gonna have to clean up. Because we have 1 minute left. So I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
I hope to
Bye-bye.
see everyone next week. It will be the third in our series of artists celebrating summer. And for some reason, I cannot spotlight myself again, but I'm waving goodbye. Art on, everybody. Oh, here I am again. Have a great week.